Hi, and welcome back to the digital job site. This is the third part in a series of videos showing how to use SketchUp to do the calculations and measurements for building a stairway. In the first two sessions we created a layout plane and added some features to represent what would be typical job site conditions. And for those of you that come to this video series straight from YouTube, you might like to go to the digital job site at findhomebuilding.com and to read the dialogue that goes along with these videos. All right. Well, with the layout plane and the various elements encountered on a job site represented here in this model, we'll get into using the math to do the work, the layout work for us. And as you probably know, for cutting a stair stringer, the first thing you need is a total rise measurement. We used the existing rise and then added floor finishes, and now we can calculate the actual total rise for this stairway. So with these guidelines, I'm going to draw a pencil line from the top of what will be our finished tile surface vertically to the finished floor surface. I've just created a line, and that line is drawn onto the geometry grouped in the first step. So by right-clicking this line, or selecting the line and now right-clicking, I get this dialog box, and I'm going to choose the divide feature. And you can see these little red dots on that blue line, and it shows me in the dialog box there 31 segments 4 inches, and as I move this back and forth, you can see the length of the various segments. And a building code, a typical code, would be a maximum of 8-inch rise, and you can see by having 16 rise or 17 segments. Let's go back to 15 segments. That's over 8 inches. You can see the length is over 8 inches. And as I go down 15 segments, 16 segments, I end up with 7 3/4 inches. 17 segments, getting down there. 18 segments, they're barely 7 inches. So not coincidentally, 16 segments will equal 7 3/4, which is a good rise, and it's a nice round number. I chose that here, but it doesn't matter what your total rise ends up. The divide feature works the same. So I'm going to now take the line tool, and you can see when I go on our divided blue line, I get a green circle at the end point, and I get a blue circle at a midpoint, and then if I go down again, I get an end point, and I know that is one segment of equal rise where we're going to end up on the stairway. And in this situation, I'm just going to use a 10-inch run for this stairs, assuming there's not a limitation on the total run in the building conditions. I'm just going to pick 10 inches for a run, which should be, for a comfortable stair angle. All right, so I've got a vertical line, a horizontal line, and now I'm just going to draw a diagonal here. And I know that our total rise divided 15 times, I believe it was, ends up at 7 3/4 of an inch. So I have this little triangle that represents the rise and the run of the stringer that's going to take to make this stair work out. So I'm going to select this triangle and then move it down. This will make sense after a while. I'm going to move this triangle straight down to the underside of our stair nosing, which would represent the bottom of the tread. And then I'll make the same triangle. I'm going to make it into a component, which is going to be the stair stringer or jack, whatever you happen to call it. But we're just going to call it a stair stringer in this case. SketchUp creates a component, and I'm going to jump into this component mode and do a couple things. One is I want to make a line that is tangent to our nosing, And that line will represent the line of nosing in our completed stairway. All right, so then we'll select this geometry and deselect these two pieces of it. So we've got a horizontal and a vertical line. I'm going to take the move tool, hit control. I'm going to move this little triangle down so that at this point the rise point touches the run point, and then I'm going to tell SketchUp 15x, which will do that 15 times. And if we zoom out, you can see that we've got the rise and run angles going all the way down to the concrete floor. And then I'm just going to erase that line. All right, and typically a stair like this, the stringer would be cut out of a 2x12, which is 11 1/4 inches. And I always like to cut my stringers with the point where the rise and run meet, just a little bit off the edge of the piece of lumber, so they get nice crisp corners on the stairs. And so we're going to draw another line. Let's see, 1 space 5/8 will be a inch and 5/8, and then that's just an arbitrary measurement off this reference line, which is the line of nosing. Then I'm going to make another one 11.25 or 11 1/4 inches. So this shows me that I can cut the stringer out of a 2x12. All right, we're still in component edit mode, so I'm going to draw a couple lines here using our guidelines from various stages of this drawing process. And the stringer itself will sit on the concrete floor. Any tile in the future is going to end up butting into our stairway. All right, so we have that. We don't need this geometry here. That extra line there. And with that, we can just pull this out 1.5 inches. And there we have a stair stringer. We get out of the component edit mode there. You can see how a stair stringer will look. And just for representing this and keeping the various features sorted out, I just colored that with this wood finish. And it looks a little bit dark, so I'm going to go in and edit that wood. Oh, it looks a little more like some lumber you might encounter. Anyways, so there is a stair stringer created with SketchUp, and in the next, I'll do one more video to show how to what this drawing process represents in creating the stair stringer.